Obviously, there was a lot of work that went into the relationship building. There is a great deal of trust and mutual respect. And there was a lot of work that went into that over many years. So based on that familiarity and the fact that we trust each other not to let ourselves down, and also you could call it collegiality and the ability to coordinate and collaborate, we form this platform. And this platform is special not because it's the first between Europe and China, but because it addresses an area of disputes where mediation is very suitable, and that's for intellectual property disputes. Because many of these intellectual property disputes involve licensing agreements, the transfer of technology, the license of technology. And these agreements are very prone to problems, but they're commercial agreements, so again, a lot of them are not of huge value, so they're very suitable for being mediated. I've seen the criticism, and I have an expression that I think describes that sort of criticism. They're looking at the present through a rear vision mirror. In a car, when you want to look backwards, you look in the mirror, right? When they criticize China's intellectual property, they're looking in the mirror and seeing how things were long ago. They're not talking about the now, the present. China's intellectual property protection has come a long way. It's so much more professional than it was a few years ago. It has many specialist IP courts. They have many specialist judges. The enforcement mechanisms have improved all the time. That's not to say that it's perfect, but we're seeing improvements every year. And the level of professionalism is really a lot higher than it ever was before. So I like to see the process, how it's improving all the time. I don't want to have a fixed, view and say, oh, compared to the United States is here and China's here. I see China's just coming up like this. So I see a lot of positives in China's system. It's a very challenging time for Chinese companies doing business in the United States. What we've really noticed is there's far more disputes than there used to be. And they're disputes not because the Chinese companies are causing the disputes. The American side litigants seem to be a lot more active in suing Chinese parties. So we're seeing a lot more disputes because of that, particularly in the area of intellectual property. If you look at India, it's a very litigious place. The courts there are very busy, right? So I think as China has more exposure to India, they'll naturally have more disputes because Indians are traditionally very litigious. Yeah, I think it would promote the internationalization of China's dispute resolution system because mediation is what you make of it. It's very flexible and it's not constrained by any law. So, for example, arbitration, in domestic Chinese arbitration, it's based on a law called the arbitration law. It's from the 1990s. It's a bit out of date. It constrains the growth of that area. Mediation doesn't have that constriction, so the sky is the limit. It can become as international as it wants.